here's our block. We're going to start layering the quilt together. And one thing that you want to do is you want to look at your block, at your mini quilt here. Now these are sashings. These are technically they're not borders. They were sashings. And if we were to add borders to this, before we added the borders, we would square this up to make sure that we have a square or a rectangle, and it's even on both sides. And since this is a square, all of our sides should be about the same. And I've already measured mine. Mine come out at about 14 7/8 on each side. 14 7/8, and on this side it was the same thing. 14 7/8, and up at the top it was 14 7/8. Okay, so before you actually, yes, and so before you actually would put the borders on, you would square it up because you don't want your quilt to hang crooked on the wall. Okay, now let's go ahead, and I hope I haven't forgotten any steps here. You're going to take a piece of backing, and it's going to be bigger than your quilt, okay? And then you're going to take probably, I would say about an inch, maybe. Now this is, if you want to use the spray that I talked about, you would actually, I would take it outside and spray it. Just give it a quick mist with your adhesive. My batting is pretty I don't know, staticky, and so it's gonna hold together. And then when I put my quilt top on here, I have plenty of room all sides around, don't I? Okay. And what I might do is I might just spray this, and but I want to do that outside. So I would probably give this a quick spray and get that top put down. So I'm going to do that really quick, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have given that a little spray outside, and you really want to make sure that the back is nice and smooth and everything is nice and smooth before you start pinning. Now we're not going to mark this because we're going to stitch in the ditch and do some, if you want, we'll be doing some stippling on this. I think I'm going to put some stippling on it, and we'll do, maybe next time we'll do for the next quilt, we'll do a different quilting design. So that's the easiest right now without marking. So when you start pinning, you want to take your safety pins, you're going to start in the middle of the quilt. And you want to make sure you get through all 3 layers, keeping it nice and smooth. And the smoother you pin and the more pins that you put in evenly, the better it'll lay. Okay, so you're just going to go through. You're going to start from the middle. You have your little handy quick clip, which also helps to keep it flat too. And you're going to pin out. You're going to start in the middle and pin out from the middle and up. So maybe every 2 inches. Sometimes I get a little lazy and I don't really do every 2 inches. So okay, so we'll be back in a second. We're going to get this all pinned all the way out, and then we'll go from there.